it tasted much better than I thought.
It's a mega city. It's absolutely huge.
And one of the reasons why they are very, very strict.
It's so cool to see these palaces and temples. And then
Probably one of the best meals that we had.
Yeah.
Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Karen.
And I'm Nick. We retired early back in 2022, and we've been slow traveling ever since.
We like to stay in places for a month or longer just to get a good idea of what it's like to live kind of like a local in each place. In today's video, we want to talk to you guys about our experience visiting Seoul, Korea. We were there for 2 months, the beginning of June through the beginning of August of 2025.
Seoul has been on our travel list for a long time. It looked so interesting. We're excited to experience some of the culture, try the local foods, and we just couldn't wait to experience everything and see all of the beauty that Seoul had to offer. Seoul is a massive city. About 51 million people live in South Korea, and around 26 million of those people live in Seoul. So it's a mega city. It's absolutely huge.
And it is also pretty crowded, especially the popular areas. Now, we stayed in the Songpa neighborhood. It's still in Seoul, but not in the hub.
Yeah.
So we were still very well connected. Public transportation was easy, super accessible.
Yeah.
And we still had access to markets and restaurants and all kinds of stuff in our neighborhood.
It was a local, humble, quiet neighborhood. Not a lot of tourists at all. I think we might have been the only ones.
Now, for us, because we stay in places a long time, we don't mind staying outside of the major areas because we have time to explore the city. So if you're not traveling here for a long time, you probably want to stay more central. For us, even though the public transportation was amazing and we were just a few minute walk from our metro stop, it was still, for us to get to like the main areas of Seoul where the tourists are, it took us about an hour to on the train. So keep that in mind when you're choosing neighborhoods. For those that are curious about our accommodations, we do have an Airbnb tour. We enjoyed our little place. It was very tiny, different, but it was really cool, and it worked out well for us for the 2 months.
Staying in neighborhoods like this just tends to give we found that it gives us better access to the amenities for living in a place.
Seoul has just so much to offer when it comes to things to do. Don't miss out on the palaces. I mean, you have Gyeongbokgung, Cheonggyecheon. We are going to mispronounce a lot of these names just because the language is a little difficult, but beautiful places to see. The palaces are amazing. They're super affordable to go into. I mean, we're talking a couple of dollars per person maybe to go into these palaces. Same thing for the temples.
Yeah, we went to Bangunsa Temple. It's free to enter, and it's beautiful grounds, and we just happened to be going there when the monks were coming out to do the
drumming.
The drumming, yeah. So that was super cool, and it's beautiful. It's so cool to see these palaces and temples, and then when you look at the background, you see the new modern city. So you see these ancient temples and palaces, and then again this modern mega city in the background. It's just a stunning contrast to see.
Yeah. Another thing that of course you must do is go to the Hanok villages. Now, Bukchon Hanok Village is the one that you see everywhere, that that everyone posts about. And yes, it does have the traditional houses, and it does have some of the old houses, which is great. If you actually do a search while you're in Seoul for Hanok villages, it's going to give you another one. Now that one is a newly constructed area. So yes, the architecture is still going to be the same, but the buildings are new. So
another cool area to go to, another Hanok village, is Insadong. And what's unique about this one is that it's a lot of cafes and restaurants. So you walk around in there and you can stop at different restaurants, cafes, and you're in this old, ancient, historic village, but you get to go inside of the
Exactly.
buildings
So
to
like,
eat.
yeah, all of the houses are cafes and restaurants. So
Or
you're,
shops and
or, yeah, or shops.
yeah,
So you can actually go inside to many of them. And it's just really cool the
it
way they
is.
look, and they're very beautiful.
Another amazing place to check out is the National Museum of Korea. And this museum is free, uh, no charge. Now, they have some special exhibitions sometimes, and there is a charge to go to those if you want to. But the museum itself is free, and you learn so much in there, and it spans the history, of course, of Korea, but also other areas as well. Europe is in there, and so the museum is really, really cool to go to.
You don't realize how much there is in there until you start to go into each room,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden it's like room after room after room,
Yeah.
and then you got like 2 or 3 more stories to go. So allow a good amount of time so you don't have to rush through, but it is really cool to see. So another place that of course you can't miss, you're going to see it online everywhere. It's the Cheonggyecheon stream, and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing this again. Sorry about that, but you can't miss it. It's this beautiful just stream, and you have streets up above, and then you go down some steps to get to this area, and you can walk there as well. So it's just such a nice way to move pedestrians, because
Hmm.
you can walk through this beautiful area with water flowing and fish and rocks, and it's just so beautiful versus walking up
On the
with the
street.
streets with all the cars. So it is just awesome. People go there all the time. You see
Mhm.
people just sitting there. They put their feet in the water.
Yeah.
Little kids playing. It's just such a nice place.
Yeah, this is just an awesome place to go day and night. It's cool to see with the city lights in the background, and just a really cool addition to the city to make it such a pedestrian friendly area. It's really neat.
Yeah, it is really neat. So don't miss this. Of course, you just walk there. It's free. You don't have to pay anything, and
Yeah.
it's just nice to walk through there.
Yeah.
Another thing that you'll probably also see online is the Starfield Libraries.
Yeah.
So what's funny is that there is actually two of them that we know of.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna see you'll see them online. It's this beautiful kind of like huge
Multi-story
multi-story, yeah, and it's like just
books and books
walls
and
of
books.
books.
The first one we went to is actually the COEX Mall Starfield Library, and it's beautiful. It's really cool. So we went to that mall, we went to the library, and we were kind of like, wait a second, this isn't what we saw online. It's similar, but it's not what we saw online. But then, as we discovered later on, there is
There's a
another
second
one,
one.
at least one more, and this other one is in Suwon. And so that was the one we saw online, and that one is even taller. The more stories of books up. So
Yeah.
just really beautiful library, and in that second one there's stairs where you can sit, multi levels of stairs where you can sit in the
Yeah.
library with the views.
It's just a really beautiful bookstore. So you can go and check it out if that's something you like. But just know that there are two of them, depending on which one you want to see.
Yeah. Another thing that you can't miss is the Latte World Tower. It's actually the tallest tower in South Korea. So that's cool. But we actually didn't go up in the tower. We just kind of walked around the area. The area itself has a mall, a huge mall that we went in, which was nice. And there's a lake and park area that you can walk around. We saw people walking and running around that lake, and it's just a really, really beautiful area to go and see and hang out.
Yeah.
Even if you don't go up into the tower, we found that there were so many beautiful viewpoints and areas all around Seoul, wherever we went, that we would get great views. So we didn't see a need for it, but I'm sure it's really cool to go up into the tower as well.
Now, we had a view of the Lotte World Tower from our balcony
We did,
in our
yeah.
apartment, so that was pretty neat. So
Yeah.
at night, of course, they light it up, and it's like kind of different colors and different things. It's really pretty, so don't miss it at night as well if you can.
Yeah.
Another awesome place to go to is the Banpo Bridge. It's like a park, and you have the huge bridge where you can see it from the park. So of course there's people bicycling and people sitting down having picnics and all kinds of normal park activities. But at night they like have the water coming, almost like a waterfall coming off the bridge, and then they light it up in different colors. They play music too.
Yeah, it's really beautiful to go there. And many people either take food, stop at a 7-Eleven or GS25, grab some food and take it with. There's also stalls there to buy food. And so you go there and hang out and have your dinner and watch the Rainbow Bridge display, the fountain display
Mhm.
from the side of the bridge. It's a really cool thing to do. While we were in Seoul, we went to a baseball game. It was the Doosan Bears versus the SSG Landers, and it was a cool game. We really enjoy doing this because baseball is just such this American pastime, but it's so cool to do and see these events in other cities because there's of course so much about the game that's exactly the same, but it's so very different to see the fan base and how everyone interacts with the game and how how you cheer when your team is up to bat. You cheer like crazy. It's almost to a level where you would think you would call it distracting in the States. And then when the opponents are up to bat, you're just super quiet. So, and then they cheer very loudly. And we paid about $16 each, and we actually bought the tickets at the box office of the game,
Yeah.
at the stadium.
We usually like to buy things in advance just to make sure we secure them, but there really wasn't a good way to do this, I guess.
No,
And with
you
our
needed,
language barrier and the different things, the way that the website was set up, we were just confused. So we just showed up at the game, which is what most people said to do anyway. And it was so easy. When you go up to the counter, they have the map of the seats right there. The prices are posted. There's no question as to the prices depending on the section that you chose. Very, very easy.
yeah. And we
Yeah.
just asked for our seats together, of course. We asked for our seats together and super easy.
Yeah, it was super easy. And you can take food inside the stadium. So a lot of people you could see with their bags of food and drink
Yeah.
To the stadium. Of course, you can buy food there as well. But it's just so fun.
Very cool experience.
Yeah. There's so much to do in Seoul. This is just a small list. But of course, one of the things that you probably want to do when you're here is to book a DMZ tour.
Yeah.
This whole thing with North Korea and everything is just such a interesting, I guess it's just such an interesting country that are so separated from the world. So you just, you're here. This is about as close as you can ever get to this country, it feels.
Yeah.
So we booked a DMZ tour, of course, and it's really, really interesting.
It was really cool. We booked a DMZ tour through Klook and took us to a couple of different spots. We went to a suspension bridge, and then we went to the actual DMZ, went through the tunnel, went to an observation area where we could see North Korea. It was a really cool tour. It was a very interesting day. It was a lot of fun. Our tour guide was really informative, very, very smart. She knew everything about the history. It was really, really interesting. And one thing we learned is that they're actually still at war. The war never ended. There's just kind of a ceasefire.
They
and
are
that's
currently operating under a ceasefire, and that's all there is right now separating these two countries from fighting.
Yeah.
So yeah, we thought that was super interesting as well. And one of the reasons why they are very, very strict when you go there as to what you can and cannot do.
Yeah, like in the observation tower, you can't point your camera or point your phone towards North Korea and take photos. That could actually get the observation tower shut down because they have high power binoculars and whatnot on the North Korean side, and they're watching this observation tower. So it's very secretive and very protective, and just respect it if you go, and you'll learn a lot, and it's something you must do. Seoul does have a lot of green spaces. First up, we went to Seoul Forest Park, which was actually really cool. It's approximately 3,000 acres, and there's a lot to do inside of this park, and we didn't even do it all. There's a butterfly garden, there's a deer park, there was like this kind of like botanical garden that simulated different atmospheres. There's a dry desert area and more tropical areas. So it was a really neat park to walk around, and
it is free to go into this park. So you just walk right in. And oh man, you could walk so many different little trails and trees everywhere. It was just really, really neat.
It was very warm when we went, and it was well shaded. So we were able to at least get relief from the sun and walk through the shaded pathways. And was really cool.
Yeah. Another place that we actually had nearby our apartment was the Olympic Park. Seoul hosted the 1988 Summer Olympics, and so they have all kinds of different Olympics theme things going on, and but the park itself, walking around the park, is pretty big, and again, lots of different little trails to walk around in, and
you can see some of the different some of the sporting events were held, like the velodrome for the bicycles, and the pool area, and so that's cool. You can go and see where that was all held, and there's an Olympic torch that's there and burning, which is neat.
Another place now this one was a little bit of a strenuous hike, is the area where the Seoul Tower is, which is Namsan Park. So if you decide to go to the tower through the park, it is a good hike with lots of stairs.
You don't have to hike. You don't have to walk up all the stairs. There is a cable car, of course. I'm not sure how much it costs, but you can take the cable car up and down.
Yeah.
We decided to just walk up the stairs, and it was neat because the higher you go, the views of the city get better and better. And then when you make your way up to where Seoul Tower is, there's different viewing platforms all around, and you can see different views of the city, different directions. That's really cool.
And there's cafes up there, and little like bar, beer places. So there's stuff up there if you want to grab something.
Yeah.
Just very nice. And the views from up there, once you get up there, you'll see the tower, and then all kinds of people walking around, and different views from the from different angles.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to go up to the observation deck in the tower. Like we didn't. We just went up to the observation area below the tower, and it was great. It was awesome. Great views.
Yeah. One of our favorites, though, was the Seoul City Wall.
Yeah.
It's like this whole, almost like different hiking. It's just a whole thing surrounding the entire city. And it's just little hiking areas. They each have like a different name depending on the section of the city. So we walked a good section of it. It's just beautiful. You see parts of the wall.
Yeah.
Some of the stones that are there have been placed forever ago when they built the wall. Is incredible.
14th century, like the late 1300s. So you can see different layers, and there's some signage explaining it, but different layers where the stones for the wall change based on, and it lets you know what era each layer is from. So it's interesting to see that city walled area was so small compared to looking at how big Seoul is now. It offered amazing views, and it's just an easy pedestrian path to walk around.
Yeah.
And the section that we actually walked, we finished up our walk, and there were some really cool cafes where we had awesome views. And so we sat at a cafe and had coffee and some sort of pastry, and had really, really cool views of the city.
Yeah. And we found that a lot in Seoul. You get up to these areas, and before you know it, you're up. So, and that's another thing too. Prepare yourselves when you're walking in the city. There's a lot of like uphill areas where, you don't realize it. And before you know it, you're out of breath because you've been hiking up. But beautiful views all over the city from this. And we just love the Seoul City Wall area. Again, we just hiked a little part of it. But it just goes all over. And another thing is that you have the gates. So different areas of the city are around the wall are the main gates of what used to be the gates into the heart of Seoul. So don't miss that either. There's several of them, and they're just beautiful.
All right, guys, the most important section, the food. So, if you go into Seoul, most likely you've had Korean food before, but it is so cool to have the Korean foods and prepared in the authentic way in the actual place where they're from. So, you have tteokbokki. It's a classic, the little rice cakes with the tomato-based sauce. Of course, you can get cheese. Can be a little spicy.
Get it different
ways.
ways.
Different styles, but you got to try that while you're there.
chicken and beer, which is like this fried chicken that they make them, you know, and it's just so crispy, super juicy. And then you have it with beers, how they like to have it.
Yeah.
And it's just such a simple meal. But if you order the fried chicken, you're getting chicken and that's it.
Really
so
good.
it's really delicious.
Yeah. You know, another thing that you should have while you're there is Korean barbecue. Just keep in mind there are different. There's going to be different Korean barbecue restaurants. Some are beef, some are pork, some serve the whole range of different meats. The one we went to in our local area was a pork-based Korean barbecue.
Yeah. And it was some chicken too.
There was some chicken,
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. You could order
but
some
no
chicken
beef
as well, but no beef in this one. And so that one was definitely less expensive. If you go to the beef Korean barbecues that have Wagyu and whatnot, they're going to definitely be more money.
Right.
But it was a really, really fun experience. And we enjoyed it. We ordered a few different cuts, a few different plates of the meat, and cooked everything up. And
yeah, what was cool about the place that we went to is that so you order the meat, and it was like an all-you-can-eat situation because
really
we
was.
could have just kept ordering the meat,
Yeah.
more and more meat. But so they bring you the meat that's coming from the kitchen.
Yeah.
Now outside was access to like a little salad bar, very small, just like a little salad, rice, and of course your kimchi and other things that you could use.
Different sauces and different seasonings.
For you to season the meat. So very, very small, but still you had access to that to complement your meat.
Yeah.
So very, very fun to do. So yes, of course, do that.
That's a must do.
Yeah, just
it's interactive, it's fun. You're cooking
you're
your
cooking.
own, and you can cook it however you desire. You know, you can get a nice, like I was getting really nice char on the pork belly, and it was a lot of fun. It was really cool.
And of course, you're going to have gimbap, right? Which is the kind of like what looks like
Looks
sushi.
like sushi.
It's not, of course, but that's also very yummy. Of course, you're going to have that, and you probably have tried that at home where you are. And of course, bibimbap, right? Which is a bibimbap bowl with the rice and different veggies in there and an egg. Yeah. Also very delicious. Okay. Yeah. These are kind of like
the staples.
Yes. Exactly. Try these. These are probably things you're not really getting so much at home. Okay. Bude jjigae. Okay. It looks a little weird. It's like the army stew.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of processed meats in it. So think like hot dogs and ham. And I mean, Spam is very popular in Korea. So there's a lot of that. And then of course there's noodles in it. There's some veggies in it. And it's like a red based, tomato based sauce. Yeah. And then it's served in a big bowl in front of you with a gas flame under it, and it cooks down. It's actually really good. We enjoyed it. We enjoyed the experience. It was very inexpensive. Yes. And it's one of those things that I feel like you should try it while you're there. Yeah. It's very unique.
And this is something that's very significant to other people of Korea, as this is the stew that they had when they had some rough times. Exactly. And this was their go-to. It tasted much better than I thought. And we actually enjoyed it.
We did.
But yeah, it's a little different. It looks different. You might not go for it at first, but try it. You might be surprised.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Kimchi. This is their national dish.
Yeah. Now, and you can probably get that at home, but what's cool about getting kimchi in Seoul, in South Korea, is that every little restaurant has kimchi out for you to take and to have with your meal. But it's really awesome because we've noticed that there's a variation in every single kimchi. Some is spicier, some is more pickled. So you get a little bit of different flavor, but it's like it's all homemade kimchi. Yes. So it's all slightly different.
Right.
So,
which we love.
Yeah, it's really cool to try.
So try it at the different restaurants, try their kimchi. Do not miss out on kimchi. Different flavors, and it was just really awesome to have here. And again, it is their national dish, so don't miss out on that. Another thing that we discovered that kind of blew us away that we absolutely loved was dak galbi. Yeah. Okay. And I'm not sure if they make it with different meats. We had ours with chicken. And oh my goodness, this is another one where it's a big pan,
like and you got
with like chicken, and then they have mozzarella cheese
Mhm.
in the middle, and it's all cooking, just bubbling. So delicious with
Yeah.
that cheese.
Yeah.
So that was a great meal that
That was really
surprised
good.
us, and it was really, really
That
awesome
was really
and filling.
delicious. Yeah, that was really
Yeah.
delicious. Something too that we discovered while we were there is bingsu. It's like a shaved ice cream, and they use different fruits and different syrups, and there's all kinds of different flavors. We had cantaloupe, we had mango, we had
Watermelon, yeah,
watermelon. So there's
grapefruit.
yeah, grapefruit one was really
Hmm.
good. So we had a bunch of different flavors of this bingsu, and it's pretty big. It's made to be shared. At least I recommend sharing. It's big.
Yeah.
It was big. Well, we had bingsu Sundays as
Bingsu
well.
Sundays.
Yeah, I don't know.
And we were
Bingsu.
there during the summer,
Oh
so
yeah,
this is why it was Bingsu Sundays, because
yeah.
every Sunday we'd go. It was like $10 for each order, but I mean it was huge.
It was significant.
Yeah, so it was worth the $10. You
Yeah.
know, another place. Now this was probably one of the best meals that we had
Yeah.
while we were here, and this is a place called Myeongdong Gyeoja. We saw it online. Somebody posted about it. It looked really interesting. We happened to be nearby, so we went to check it out.
Yeah.
And turns out it's a Bib Gourmand, Michelin Bib Gourmand place, and it's been around since like 1966 or something like
Yeah.
that.
They have
A lot of locals go
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. They have a very tiny menu. There are 4 items on the menu, and that's only because it was summer. Otherwise, there's typically 3.
So very affordable. It was the
Yeah.
prices were not bad, and truly just go there. We ordered all 4 items.
Yeah.
Very, very delicious. One of the best meals that we had there. I mean, and it was just such a simple restaurant. It's not like, super fancy. So many different people and families. It was
really good.
great.
It's really good. It's a multi-story restaurant. It's probably going to be fairly busy when you go. I'd recommend going early-ish because they have been known to run out of things.
That's
so
true.
if you want to try everything, just kind of time it so that you're in the area and you can go somewhat early.
The food is just one of those things where you just can't get enough of,
And-
especially when you're trying these
Yeah.
amazing dishes.
And I get it. There's Korean restaurants in many big cities around the world, but it's just so cool to have these things when you're in the city. You know, when you're in the country, in the city, that's awesome. So now we wanted to give you some practical tips that could be useful to you while you're in Seoul. I guess first off, get a T-Money card, the public transit card. You can load some money onto it when you buy it. They're super simple to reload at the different metro stations.
When you do reload these cards, you probably want to have some cash for that. So just you're not really going to need cash otherwise, but it's always good to have a little cash. You never know when something goes wrong, when the machine doesn't work or something. And for reloading the T-Money card, it was pretty much cash is what we used.
We actually used a airport bus, or it's called an airport limousine bus, to get from Seoul Incheon International Airport to the area where we stayed in the Songpa district, a 2-hour bus ride. So it just worked out really, really good. We took bus 6300 and it was 17,000 Korean won for the bus each way per person. So about $12 per person for the bus.
Mm-hmm.
We found that worked the best for us. Again, depending where you stay in Seoul, your situation might be completely different. Like I'm possibly the main tourist area or near Seoul Station. You might just be better off taking the train.
And it'll be probably a couple of hours to get to the city.
It's a haul.
Yeah. These summers are very hot.
These summers are brutal, man. It's relentless. It's hot.
There's a reason they recommend, for you to visit in the spring and and fall.
We were there in the dead of summer. Good job, Karen. Another cool thing, I guess, or interesting thing is that Seoul has European style outlets, EU outlets. So if you have EU plugs, that'll work in Seoul.
So you'll need, if you have American plugs, they are not going to work here. So you need your little adapters.
You need adapters. We found Seoul to be a very, very pedestrian friendly city. The cars did yield to the pedestrians really well, and we were able to cross and without any issues.
Yes. And another thing to keep in mind too is that when you are navigating through the metro, it's amazing to be able to navigate underground while you're still in the metro station before heading up to the street level.
Mm-hmm.
And what's awesome, and you're going to see, is that a lot of the metro stations, they have multiple exits depending on which direction you'll be going.
On which side of the street?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you'll have like all the way exit 1 through like exit 10 sometimes, or maybe even more, depending on what direction. So keep that in mind when it comes to navigating the city, of what exit, and you'll see it on the maps. Even I think Google Maps even showed some of the different exits. And speaking of the maps, Google Maps works kinda.
Yeah.
You'll be able to see some routes. You'll be able to see the train routes a little bit to navigate. You will not be able to get walking directions. You can still use Google Maps to give you an idea of where you're headed in some direction, but you also have Naver maps. So Naver and Kakao Maps is what most people recommend to use when you come to Korea.
We found Naver to be a little bit more foreigner friendly, but Naver Maps, we couldn't really get used to it. We used it in conjunction to Google Maps, and we probably still used Google Maps more. Yeah.
So even if it's not as user friendly as we like, you're gonna need it. So pick one: Kakao, Naver. Probably Naver might be a better one for the foreigners like us. In conjunction with Google Maps, you'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Another thing to know about coming to Seoul is, when it comes to the restaurants, you do not tip here. Okay, there's no tipping. You just pay for your meal, and that's it. A lot of times you actually pay before you eat. You either order at the counter or at the little machines. You order your food, you pay, and then the food comes out after you pay, and then you leave. You probably have heard of the Korean beauty products, and yes, Korean beauty standards are pretty high. And you have Olive Young, which is basically the Sephora of Korea.
There's an Olive Young
on every block.
Oh
yes.
Goodness,
oh my God. There's so many. So don't worry about
We were really excited to see an Olive Young in our neighborhood, so we could go and check it out. But then as we went and explored more of Seoul, we realized that there's Olive Young everywhere.
There's Olive Young everywhere.
Yeah.
So I don't really shop at Sephora, so I really don't know all these products. But Olive Young, personally, I felt it was pretty expensive. I felt that the prices were probably US prices. We're talking products for $15, $30, maybe more, $50 for maybe a special, I don't know, lotion or serum or whatever. So the prices are pretty high. Or not. Maybe you are. Maybe for you, this is a bargain. I don't know.
I will say that there are probably going to be more unique products that you could only get here. That if you were to get that similar product, let's say in the U.S., it would probably be a lot more money.
A store that you might want to consider is Daiso, Daiso. They are a Japanese company, but they have stores all over, and they have stores here in Korea, and they have products. They have Korean products also. And just Daiso is known for being very, very affordable, very inexpensive, and they sell all kinds of stuff. So, kind of go to Daiso and check out some of the products that some of the Korean products that you can get there. You might save quite a bit of money.
And we're like, and we're talking like $5 and under on their beauty products. Versus like $20, 10, 15, 12, 10, 15.
And also, don't sleep on the pharmacies. So like your local pharmacies also have your like advanced products, and you can get them at the pharmacy for probably less money than what you're getting some of the products at Olive Young. So, I mean, truly, they have so much, of course, because they're known for this. But you probably are going to spend quite a bit. If you are interested in getting these Korean products, you're going to spend a bit. So just, consider the other stores that you probably can get a good deal.
Exactly. Yeah. So overall, we really enjoyed our time in Seoul. It was very interesting and very beautiful to see palaces and temples. Such a cool city, so advanced. Very, very safe. everyone was very kind to us, very nice.
Yeah, we
Of
really
course, there was language barrier, but it didn't, it didn't deter them from not being. They're very cool with us, you know.
Yeah, we really love the mix of old and new
Yeah.
here, where you have like these beautiful ancient temples and palaces, and then you have like the modern buildings in the background.
Yeah, it was. And, we're very thankful that we got to go and visit. It was really cool.
If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe to our channel for more of our travel adventures.
And slow travel with us.
Bye.
Bye.